Right now, literally as we speak, somewhere in America, someone is logging off their standard 9 to 5 job, opening a laptop at their kitchen table, and making more money in 3 hours than they made all week at their day job. It's wild. Welcome to this explainer. Today we're tracking a massive economic shift that is fully hitting us in 2026. This is a true revolution in how everyday people are building modern wealth streams right from home.
Exactly. And let's be super clear right out of the gate here. As your financial mentors today, we are not talking about day trading penny stocks. We aren't talking about trying to flip real estate with no money down, and we are absolutely not talking about driving for a rideshare app on your weekends. What we're actually looking at is a fundamental rewiring of how you monetize your time and your skills using digital platforms.
$1,000. That right there is the magic number. We're seeing regular people consistently generating an extra grand a week, and they're doing it entirely through digital skills. Look, for years, the old idea of a side hustle meant physical labor, right? Delivering food, selling junk out of your garage, essentially trading your precious weekends for just a few extra bucks. But the highest earners today, they have completely abandoned that model. Oh, absolutely. They've totally traded that physical sweat equity for digital scale. It's a complete paradigm shift, a real game changer for anyone paying attention.
Because think about it. For a century, the American financial myth was basically a single equation. Get a good, safe job, blindly funnel money into your 401k, aggressively protect your FICO score, and supposedly the future just handles itself. But just look around. With skyrocketing housing costs, relentless inflation squeezing everyone's household budgets, and those mounting student loans, that single paycheck equation is fundamentally broken. Today, having multiple income streams isn't just some fun idea for the super ambitious. It's an absolute economic necessity.
Which brings us perfectly to the mechanism behind this whole new reality. Digital leverage. I really want you to internalize this definition. Digital leverage is about monetizing skills, systems, and digital platforms to completely decouple your time from your income. It is the definitive move away from trading your physical hours for dollars. You build an asset, you build a system, or a digital service just once, and then it scales infinitely across the internet.
Okay, so let's get into the actual playbook. Let's look at the exact mechanisms working right now. Section 1, the 4 pillars of earning.
All right, here are your modern wealth streams. We've got freelance digital services, the creator economy, artificial intelligence, and online education. And listen, here is the strategic insight I need you to hear before we go even one step further. You do not need a fancy advanced degree to tap into a single one of these. The people quietly pulling in that extra cash started from absolutely scratch, with zero background in these fields.
Let's break down the actual math on that first pillar, freelance digital services. We're talking things like copywriting, web design, or email marketing. Every company on the planet is fighting tooth and nail for attention right now. If you learn just one valuable skill, say video editing, you instantly become indispensable. A total beginner charging just $250 a project only needs 4 clients a week to cross that $1,000 mark. 4 projects. That completely rewires the traditional paycheck math.
It really does. And then there's the creator economy. Now, the biggest myth out there is that you need millions of followers to make any real money. That is mathematically false. A creator with 10,000 hyper-loyal, heavily engaged followers will routinely out-earn someone with 100,000 passive scrollers. Why is that? Because trust is the real currency here. Small, hyper-engaged communities convert. They buy, they subscribe, and they actively support you.
Trust and attention. That is literally the law of gravity for the 2026 economy. Attention is without a doubt one of the most profitable assets you can own today. And everyday people are monetizing this exact asset through brand sponsorships, affiliate partnerships, digital products, and paid memberships. And they're doing it in the most hyper-niche categories you can possibly imagine, from personal finance strategies to super-niche productivity methods.
Which naturally leads us to what is arguably the biggest wealth opportunity of this entire decade: artificial intelligence. We're tracking a totally new class of digital entrepreneurs who are using AI to automate content, build massive digital products, and run hyper-niche marketing agencies. What historically took a whole team of 5 people to execute now takes just one focused person armed with the right AI systems.
And guys, this is the defining mindset shift of the modern digital entrepreneur. Income doesn't always come from working harder. Sometimes it comes from building smarter systems. You absolutely have to stop trying to outwork the corporate ladder with your physical hours and start outsmarting it with digital leverage. It's a massive shift in perspective.
Finally, we have online education. This is basically where you package your brain. Listen to me.
Your past experience has immense market value. Maybe you spent a decade in corporate sales, or maybe you just have a real knack for budgeting, credit repair, or building business systems. People out there are actively paying for shortcuts. In an economy where time is our most precious commodity, your specific expertise is a highly scalable asset just waiting to be packaged into courses and consulting.
Okay, dramatic shift in tone here. Time to switch from offense to defense. Let's move to Section 2, the Financial Defense Playbook.
Now, this is exactly where financial intelligence separates the amateurs from the professionals. Let me be blunt. Earning an extra 50 grand a year means literally nothing if you don't know how to keep it. Smart side hustlers are obsessed with protecting their capital. When you start scaling, things like quarterly tax payments, IRS compliance, LLC structures, and aggressive business deductions need to become your best friends. You have to aggressively track your expenses to legally lower your taxable income.
Because at the end of the day, this is the ultimate goal, right? Turning that active income into long-term wealth. You take that extra cash flow, you optimize your credit utilization, you funnel it into diversified ETFs and tax-advantaged retirement accounts, and you build absolute structural financial freedom. That's the whole shebang.
But you know, none of this actually works without conquering the psychological barrier first. So let's hit Section 3, breaking the employee mindset.
So many people stay trapped by imposter syndrome. They think these opportunities belong to someone else, someone younger, someone smarter, or just better connected. But guys, that is a lie. Across America right now, regular people are proving that financial freedom begins with one crucial decision: giving yourself permission to stop depending on a single source of income.
And you really have to make that decision soon. The macro trends aren't waiting around for you to get comfortable. Automation is fundamentally stripping traditional jobs away, AI is completely rewriting how business is done, consumer behavior is upending entire markets. The individuals who recognize these shifts and adapt right now, early on, are the ones who will completely control their own financial architecture in the coming years.
So what does this all mean for you? How do you actually start? Well, you keep it incredibly simple. One skill, one client, one idea, one channel, one system. You don't need to build a massive empire on day one. You just need to execute step 1 and let the math start working in your favor.
The tools are cheaper than ever, the leverage is higher than it's ever been, and the blueprint is proven. So as you look at your own financial future in this entirely new economy, we're going to leave you with the only question that truly matters right now. Will you adapt or will you wait?